I was shocked, like shook to my core when I opened TikTok and saw 600,000 views in like 2.5 hours. That is the fastest I've ever seen a TikTok blow up in my 4 years of doing this. And because they were stocked on TikTok Shop, they were selling like crazy. I was like, oh my gosh, like what's going on? I need to stock more of these. The fact that TikTok Shop was boosting the video made it my most viral video ever on any platform. Last summer did not go as expected with my small business. By August of last year, everybody in the office was scrambling to pack orders that all had a pretty unexpected product in them. They were these gel pens. In hindsight, it maybe shouldn't have been a super unexpected product. Like, we sell notepads and stationery and planners, so it feels like pens should fit naturally into that category. But normally, all of our items are printed with my artwork. So I have like really bright, fun floral patterns that are printed on all of our planners and notepads. And so these were just plain solid colors and not printed with my art at all. And so that was just like kind of out of left field. I had wanted to sell pens for a long time, and I was trying to get pens that had my florals on them, but it was just proving to be a very difficult task to find the right manufacturing partner and not have to order 20,000 of them. I finally gave up and just stocked solid color pens when we were opening our storefront in October of 2022. At that point, I was like, okay, I can't get my florals on them. It's just not gonna work out. But I still want to have pens in the store. They fit so naturally with the rest of our items, and it would just be kind of a huge oversight to not have anything to write with in a store full of things to write on. So I gave it up and I decided to stock these, and it turned out to be a really good decision in the end. But that brings me to my next point. These were stocked in our store in October of 2022, but they didn't take off and become like a viral product for us until 9 months later. To be fair, we only had these available in store when we first introduced them. So they weren't available online, so it just wasn't gonna happen that we were gonna sell, you know, thousands and thousands of them from the store. But I did want to get them listed online at some point, and we finally got around to it end of May, early June of 2023, so several months after the store opened. And when we first listed them online, it was pretty much crickets. Like, we sent out an email list email, I posted them on my Instagram stories, and we sold a few pens here or there, but nothing crazy. And then I decided to finally make a TikTok about them, and the TikTok did pretty well. But when I first posted the TikTok, they were not sold as a set, they were all individual. And everybody was asking for sets in the comments. So I said, okay, screw it, I'll put them up as a set. And I did that while I was on a trip for one of my friend's bachelorette parties. And so I put up the set of 34, like just from my phone, thought like, oh, this isn't gonna be a big deal. I checked the TikTok and I checked my website a few hours later, and we were selling them like crazy. And so I was like, oh my gosh, we're gonna run out of pens, I need to restock them. I remember like trying to order them while I was literally in a line dancing bar in Nashville. But after that TikTok died down, I was like, okay, that's it. Pens had their time. They were, you know, a fine product. They did well. I posted another TikTok about them after I made kind of a big decision, which was to get my TikTok shop up and running. I've been promoting my business on TikTok and growing my business on TikTok since 2020. So it was like a natural thing to get a TikTok shop, but I had held off for a while. I just wasn't sure about it. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna put this off. We have other things to do. And then finally, I was like, okay, this is it. I'm gonna make an impulsive decision. I'm just gonna put up the TikTok shop, and I got approved. And then I was like, okay, I'm gonna post a TikTok about these pens tonight. We'll see if it does as well as the last one. We'll give it another shot. And I was going out of town that day to go to Chicago to visit my family. And the flight took off right after I posted the video tagging my one item on TikTok shop, which was the pack of 34 pens. And my flight got diverted to Indiana, so we had to land in Indiana a couple hours, an hour later probably. And I was shocked, like shook to my core when I opened TikTok and saw that during that hour flight, it had gotten like 150,000 views or something like that. And I was like, oh my gosh, like what's going on? So again, I was like, I need to stock more of these. And then I was like, okay, well, we'll see what happens. We took off again, landed in Chicago. 600,000 views in like 2.5 hours. I was like shocked. Again, very shocked. That is the fastest I've ever seen a TikTok blow up in my 4 years of doing this. And because they were stocked on TikTok Shop, they were selling like crazy, like tons of these 34 sets of pens. Normally when a TikTok goes viral, I come into the office the next day, I make a game plan, I assess, what our inventory looks like and see what I can do, but I was busy. So this just kept kind of blowing up over the course of that weekend. And it was great, but I was like, I don't know how to handle this. This is like so unexpected. And I think what happened was TikTok Shop, when you first get on there, they want to promote your first video that has a TikTok Shop product tag in it because they want to show you that TikTok Shop is a good use of your time and it's going to be good for your business. And so they give it that boost. And I think these are quite a good product, especially once you see that the ink on the inside matches the exterior color of the pen. It was the fact that it was a good product, and the video was fun too. I mean, it was me packing each one of the pens into the 34 pen box, and it had the names of each of the colors that we gave them. And that combined with the fact that TikTok Shop was boosting the video made it my most viral video ever on any platform. So they really took off, and that meant that for the rest of that summer, we were pretty much waiting on deliveries every single day to see, what pen colors we got in and what orders we could ship out, and like our whole day just revolved around packing these pens up and getting them shipped in orders. It was good for the business, but obviously being unprepared for a huge wave of orders is not ideal, and I'm trying to, work on that and get better at it. But I did have a lot of takeaways from that experience. I think these ultimately sold really well because they were the perfect companion to what I already sold. Planners, notepads, everything you can write on. It made me realize that, my existing customers, they like the excitement and fun and vibrancy of my floral patterns, but I think they also enjoy the aspect of just creativity that comes from my products, and also what I hope my products can help bring into their life. And that's something I'm trying to do with a lot of my products. So I came out with a coloring book right around the same time, and between that and the pens, I really started to understand my customer base better. My coloring book is, my art, but it's also something you can participate in. It's something that my customers who enjoy creativity can use to incorporate that into their daily life. And that's kind of my whole purpose. I love making art, but I know that other people love that too, and I want to make that accessible and attainable. If this weren't my full-time job, then I wouldn't have as much time to make art, and it's just really hard to put that into your daily life. So if I can facilitate that for other people, that is pretty much like my whole goal. So between the coloring book and the pens all becoming bestsellers all at once, it taught me that idea I had resonated with my customers, and that there were other ways to kind of incorporate creativity into my customers' lives. It got me thinking of other new products that could do the same thing. So I am very grateful for all the lessons learned about these pens and from these pens. And I am super excited that they've been popular, and I love using them myself. So I'm a big fan. I'm glad they're staying around, and I'm glad that they have been a great seller for us. I hope that you found this insightful and helpful. If you have any suggestions for future content or any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them below. I love talking with you guys and brainstorming with you in the comments.